There are a lot of games coming out in 2020, but one game that I think everybody has forgotten about is Experiment 101's Biomutant. Has actually resurfaced in the gaming news recently thanks to a leaked release, although I don't really put a lot of stock into this leaked release because it's touting that Biomutant is actually going to be released next month, and we have heard nothing about this game in recent months. It's been quite a while since we have heard anything about it, and this was one of THQ Nordic's major games that they were publishing. Experiment 101 was a new studio developing the game. Guys that worked on Just Cause were in the studio, some talented members on that studio, and this game was looking incredibly promising. An open world, vibrant RPG, but it's a post-apocalyptic RPG. Looks so cool. A Kung Fu Fable RPG with a unique martial arts style combat system, allowing you to make some melee, shooting, and mutant ability action with a gorgeous open world. All of that seemed to come together for THQ Nordic and Experiment 101, and this was a very important game for THQ Nordic because a lot of Nordic's releases have been kind of those off-the-wall releases. Yeah, they'll put out a Darksiders 3 here and there, but a lot of remasters, a lot of re-releases. You want to get some big marquee titles out there as well, and Biomutant offered an opportunity to be exactly that. So before we talk about the information about Biomutant, I want to give you guys a rundown on what the game is because it's been so long since we've heard anything about it. Biomutant is noted to launch in March according to a leaked listing. Now, I am very, very wary of actually believing this because Instant Gaming has listed that the game with a date of March 17, 2020 and November 2019. Experiment 101 said that Biomutant would be released into the wild when it was ready, and that seemed to be soonish because the team was elbow deep in the final stages of polishing, as noted by videogamer.com. However, a March 17th release date doesn't make a lot of sense. It's very rare for a big budget title like this, and Biomutant definitely classifies as a big budget title, to just be released this quickly after getting a release date, not even announced, a leaked release date. So let's say the release date is announced tomorrow and then it's coming out March 17th. I mean, that's kind of crazy. It would be a different way to do a game release, and hey, I honestly wouldn't even hate that idea. You drop a flash release date, not a flash release date where you get a month to get excited and then you can pick the game up. I'm not about flash releases when big games, they're just like, okay, the game's available now. Honestly, the only time that ever happened was the Sega Saturn, and we saw what happened with the Sega Saturn. It was not a very good idea, and since then, I don't think it'll be a very good idea for major games to do that. If you want to do it with the Fallout Shelter, fine, by all means do that, but Biomutant, I do think we need a little bit of time to get excited for the game and make sure that we have our $59.99 ready to pay for Biomutant, because it's going to be a game that I think some people are going to do research into when they hear that it's actually coming out on a certain date. This is a game that, again, it's a little flying under the radar, not majorly, but it was really in the news when it was in the news cycle, when we were getting gameplay of it. A lot of people were talking about it, and a lot of people were like, man, who is this awesome looking main character? You can actually create your own character, but, you know, he looks pretty cool. A lot of the gameplay mechanics, while I did notice some issues here and there and it required a little bit more polish, it looked very interesting and had a lot of variety in its gameplay. And again, it's an open world post-apocalyptic Kung Fu Fable RPG, and it notes a plague is ruining the land and the tree of life is bleeding to death from its roots. The tribes stand divided, explore a world in turmoil, and define its fate. Will you be its savior or lead it to an even darker destiny? It notes a new take on third-person combat. The martial arts style combat system allows you maximum freedom of movement and agility while mixing shooting, melee, and powers from your mutations. Learning new wushu combat forms through progression, and learning from masters you'll meet will constantly add to your choice and make sure combat never gets old. Evolve your gameplay. You'll be able to recode your genetic structure to change the way you look and play. This will, of course, affect your attributes, and in addition to this, exposure to biocontamination in the world will lead to physical mutations like mantis claws and barbed tails. How cool is that? The game actually offers a lot of ability to construct your character exactly how you want to, but that's going to have direct impact into the game, and that makes a lot of sense because the world has been established where, depending on how you look, depending on the attributes you have, that is going to cause a lot of ramifications. So from that standpoint, I think they did that element really, really well with Biomutant. It notes at the next level of crafting, you are totally free when crafting weapons. Mix and match parts to create your own unique one-hand or two-handed / crush-and-piece melee weapons, revolvers, rifles, and shotguns, and add modifications like corkscrews and battery-powered chainsaw modules to biocontaminated sludge vials, adding to your combat arsenal. There are even characters you'll meet that'll craft cool stuff for you, like bionic wings, a jump pack, and even let you modify your automaton, the scrap toy sidekick. gear up for adventure. You're totally free when equipping your character, not only when it comes to choosing weapons you created, but what type of gear you wear. Equip a gas mask and an oxygen tank for exploring the dead zones, thermos-resistant clothing for venturing into cryonic areas, or protective gear for taking on biocontaminated creatures. The choice is up to you, and again, you've got a vibrant open world, and you're free to explore the world. Based on what we've seen thus far, I don't necessarily know if there's going to be an open world on the level of a Witcher or some of the major open world releases we've seen. However, not everything needs to be this colossal adventure, and I think by all standards, it's still going to be a relatively big game. And again, the way they've established this world, how the world looks, I think it's so cool because it's a post-apocalyptic title. The world is in ruins, but you've also still got a lot of color into this game. It's not that dark and drab style that a lot of post-apocalyptic games go for. We've seen post-apocalyptic games take a more colorful approach. I point to a game like Enslaved Odyssey to the West. This game isn't necessarily similar to that in that this is an open-world RPG, but definitely from a presentation standpoint, I do draw a lot of similarities in that sense. And Enslaved Odyssey to the West was a phenomenal game, so if you guys have never played that, go back and check that out. And Bandai Namco, if you're listening, please remaster that game on whatever platform you want to, but a new generation of gamers definitely deserve to play that game. It was a phenomenal game that didn't get enough love. But back to Biomutant, again, it's a pretty big open world by the looks of it, and it does feature a lot of variety in what it has. Explore what lies beneath the surface. By foot, mech, jet ski, air balloon, or area-unique mounts, a dying wildland, the tunnels and bunker networks of the underworld, and find your way up to the mountains or out in the archipelago. There are lots of discoveries to be made, mysteries to unravel, creatures to confront, and weird creatures to meet in this vibrant and colorful world. And it does have an unusual story with an unusual end. That's what it's noting. Your actions play a major part in the unfolding of a story where end is coming to the new world, a plague is ruining the land, and the tree of life is bleeding to death from its roots. The tribes stand divided, and this is where a lot of options are going to come into play as well. In need of someone strong enough to unite them or bring them all down, you are guided through the world by a storyteller that narrates every step of your journey, but it's your actions and choices that'll decide how your story of survival ends. A lot of decision making in this game, not only in the traditional sense of offering you a lot of decisions within the context of the story and everything like that. Of course, there's going to be decisions like that. Any open world RPG these days is really going that route. However, also factor in the element of the decision making when you create your character, because that is going to have a direct impact on the gameplay of the title. So that's going to offer you a completely different way to play the game. I just think they're introducing a lot of unique elements into the game, and this is stuff we've known for quite a while, but there are people that are probably like getting into gaming more so. They're probably playing more games or whatever the case may be, and Biomutant is a game that they don't even know about because it hasn't been mentioned at all over the last year or so. Yeah, it's been that long, and I remember looking at Biomutant in like 2018. I believe that's when it was announced, and I was like, this is gonna be a great game. I thought it would be released in 2019, or maybe it was even announced in 2017, and I was expecting a 2018 release. Whatever it is, it has been a long time since we saw something substantial of Biomutant, and I really hope that THQ Nordic remedies that ASAP, because THQ Nordic has been an active publisher. They've been talking about games, they've been showcasing trailers, whatever, but Biomutant is a game that just isn't being covered all too much. But as far as this leaked release date goes coming from Instant Gaming, I just don't know if that's going to happen. That would be kind of unprecedented in gaming, and I'm more so, comfortable going with what has been established in gaming, and generally speaking, you don't get leaked release dates for a game. A major release, a game that I do expect is going to be $60, and then it's just leaked through a release date, and it's coming out a month later. That's kind of crazy. I've never seen anything like that. We've seen that with smaller releases. We've seen that with, low-key remasters and things like that, but with a big budget release like Biomutant, I really don't think that would happen, but who knows, maybe it will. Let me know what you guys think. Is Biomutant a game you guys are still excited for, or is it a game you've totally forgotten about? Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.